Hey there, welcome to Violet's DIY Style. If this is your first time to my channel, I'm Violet. I hope you consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. So today, I want to share with you how I was inspired by different high-end home decor department stores and what I made based on what I was inspired by. So today, I'm going to share 3 different DIYs. The first one we're going to be making is actually some succulents that you can hang on wall decor pieces. The ones that I was inspired by were from Kirkland's, and they were basically $40 for the set. So what I'm going to use to make my dupes or inspiration are these mirrors from Dollar Tree and also these flowered metal garden wind chimes, I guess you could call them. They have little bells on them. They're in the garden section. So what I did was basically remove all the chains and bell from that flower. Then what I did was just grab 2 different color greens from Apple Barrel. I believe I'm using moss and also hunter green, but I'll make sure to leave the exact colors down below for you. So all I did was basically start with my lightest green, and then I just basically painted onto my mirror. Now you can paint your mirror as well. For some reason I just didn't. I just figured I didn't need to, but at the end I did have to paint little bits and pieces of it. So if you want to go ahead and just paint it all, I would just paint it all, including that mirror. So just go ahead and give it one good coat of paint. You can also spray paint it, but I wanted to give it more of that textured look. But if you want more of the shiny look on your succulents, I would recommend you paint it or spray paint it, I'm sorry. And if you do spray paint it, put some kind of protective on it. That way it could look even glossier. So all I did was just go ahead and paint it with the lightest green first. And as you can see, I'm just giving it one light coat. And then once I was done painting with my first green, I went ahead and glued my flower onto my mirror. And the way I glued my flower was just using some permanent glue and hot glue. And you can do this before you paint or after. It really doesn't matter. That's your choice as well. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to go shopping at different department stores and home decor stores to get inspired mainly. And also just to see what's out there, what's new, what's trending right now. Just to get, basically to get more inspired than anything else. Because I try to make my home decor more on a budget. So if I can't make it, then I do wait until something's on sale. But these right here, I had wanted something like this for a while, and for some reason I just couldn't figure out how to make them. So when I did see some and automatically remembered and thought of these 2 items together to make them, I was just so happy. So I was really happy. And again, for a few dollars compared to $50 that you would get them at the store, I think I really did pretty good on staying within my budget. So again, all I did was paint it, and then I set them aside and allowed them to dry. So here I'm just going to show you again how I did it. All I did was add some permanent glue and hot glue onto my flower. Then I just went ahead and attached it to the mirror part of my mirror. I would highly recommend you use some kind of permanent glue, not just hot glue, because it will pop off if you just use hot glue. So once you're done adding your flower in the center, again, just get whatever color of that you want your succulent to be, and then you just start painting that color onto your succulent or the entire project. And as you can see, I just picked up my petals, and I would paint underneath the petals as well. That way, if you ever saw it on the side or any other way, you would see it painted as well and not just the white color. And then once I was done painting underneath, I just would push those petals down and then continue painting the top part. So once I was done and everything was dry, I went in with my darker green. As you can see, this is a hunter green, and it's just a lot darker. So I just went in and kind of brushed it on in different areas, kind of like a dry brush, you could say, is what I did. So basically I just dry brushed it on there, and then you can see the different colors. It's like a two-tone. Then I let that completely dry. Once it was completely dry, I went in with the white, kind of off-white color, very, very little, a bit of on my brush, and just started brushing on or tapping on each one of my petals, including the petals that are on the mirror. You'll see me in a minute just kind of going around it, but I really didn't add any more paint onto my brush except for what I did at the beginning. So just continue brushing on and brushing on, and if you see that it looks kind of dry, go back to the petals you have more paint on, and then just continue brushing on that way. And as you can see, I did add a little bit more green because I didn't want it to be too white. So just continue brushing it on, kind of like I could say camouflaging it. So just stamp it, start brushing on, and just kind of get your colors that you want and blend them in as much as you can, depending on what style you're going for. So this is the way I wanted them to look. So at the end, I just kind of used my brush and just brushed everything, trying to blend everything together. And then I set those aside and let them dry. So for our second DIY, what I used was one of these picture frames, kind of look like shadow boxes. This is a Christmas one. And all I did was grab my box cutter, come from the back, and just kind of score it to pop off that end. So all I'm going to use is the frame part. Then I grabbed 2 large popsicle sticks, and I'm going to add glue right at the edge of the popsicle sticks to glue it onto the edge of my frame on both sides. And it was nice and neater if I just added the glue onto my frame instead of my popsicle stick. So just go ahead and add your glue, and then add your popsicle stick to the bottom part of your frame. So once that's all dry, basically you can paint it any color you want. I went ahead and just used that same off-white color to paint my frame. So I painted the interior and the exterior of my frame. If you have maybe painter sticks and you want to make this more of a natural color and just stain your painter sticks, that will look really pretty as well. The inspiration did have more of that wood tone, but I didn't have any painter sticks on hand or anything large enough or wide enough for me to make it, so I decided to go ahead and paint mine. But you can easily make it out of just regular wood and make it more of a natural tone color as well. So once you're done painting yours, just let it dry. The inspiration did have some nautical rope to hang it, but I thought it would look nicer with some leather. So I went and got the faux leather from Dollar Tree and just glued it on to make one large strap onto my planter. Then I decided to go ahead and get some thumbtacks and just place one on either end to make it more decorative and have more of that decorative touch that I was going for. So once I was done adding my leather strap, I went ahead and just grabbed some floral foam, and these are just bits and pieces that I had in my scrap little box, and I'm just gluing them on, making sure they fit into this little box, just to give it more space inside so I don't have to fill it so much with moss. Then I went outside and just grabbed a few sticks, and I'm going to just figure out how I want the sticks to look into my little box. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of glue on either end of my stick and then glue them on into my picture frame. This is so easy to make, so simple. I want to say the longest it took was for the paint to dry, basically, because everything else within 10 minutes I was done. So this is something that you can make quite a few of them, and I think it would look so pretty in a set of 4 or even 6 to make a larger decor piece for your wall. I think it would look so pretty. Let me know how many you're gonna make of these. I made 2 of them, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna make more, because I really do think it will look pretty with more, but I did make 2 of these. So all I did once I was done and the sticks were dry, I went ahead and grabbed some moss and just put a little bit of glue underneath where I had put my floral foam in order to attach my moss. That way it won't fly around everywhere once I hang them. Another trick is you can put some hairspray on your moss, and it stays that way. It won't fly away as well. Once you're done doing that, go ahead and add your succulents, and there you have it. So for our third and final DIY, I was inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest, and it was one of these metal wire hanging plants, and I thought they looked so pretty. So all I got was one of these sphere metal hanging hooks from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use one of them, which comes 3 in a package. Then I'm going to use these plastic serving trays that they're the bowls that you can get at Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to go ahead and cut my metal ring in order for it to fit inside my plastic bowl. And as you can see, all I'm using to make the openings is my hot glue gun. All you need is a large enough opening for that little metal hook to go in. So kind of just twist it in there, just be careful, and do that to both ends. Once you're done, I added a little bit of hot glue inside in order for it to stay in place. Let this completely dry, and then you can spray paint it any color you want. And for the price of what I made 2 of them as well. So I spray painted mine black because that's the way it was in the picture. So once they're all completely dry, go ahead and grab some foam, floral foam, and then glue it into your pot. An inspiration, it did have a plant like a fern, so that's what I did. I just pulled apart these fern leaves. In order for it to look fuller, I do this a lot with a lot of my greenery. That way I can put it in different areas and it just looks like a larger plant. So once I was done pulling everything apart, I basically just kind of curved each one of my fern leaves and just put them into my pot. So you can make this as big as you like. Once you're done and you're happy with the amount of ferns you put in there, in order to cover everything else, just put some more moss around. So once you're done filling up your pot with your moss, there you have it. A very elegant, very beautiful home decor piece that you can use in any home. So let me know which one is your favorite. Is it the succulents, or is it the hanging air plant, or is it that metal flower pot? Let me know in the comments below. And again, if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and also give me a big thumbs up. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. Bye.